Good evening, everyone. As Coach Shane said, I'm Connor Pastelacqua. I was a senior this year on the football team. Third-year player for the varsity team, played many positions over the years. Running back, split end, tight end, linebacker, safety, punter, kicker, just to name a few. I was lucky to go for a record of 29-5 as 3 years here. I consider that lucky because 34 games, most players would be lucky to have half of that. Going back to the beginning of it all, I still remember the phone call that Coach Shane and I had when he asked me if I'd be willing to play for him my sophomore year. He told me that the varsity team needed a kicker. I told him I'll do it. I was so happy. There were no words that could describe how I was feeling. Then after the first week of practice, still trying to adjust to how much faster, how much bigger everybody was. First game came around. I was so nervous. Kept on thinking to myself, don't mess up, don't mess up. Thankfully, I was surrounded by great teammates, like Sean Jones, who kept telling me, you can do this, don't worry about it. After the first game, the rest of the year just flew by. Next thing I knew, I was in the dome playing for a Section 3 championship against New Hartford. Couldn't get any better. We all know what happened that game. Westboro winning, and we kept winning, found ourselves going to the state semifinals against the eventual state champion Sweet Home. After the game in the locker room, I still can recall the seniors, the class of 2010, having tears run down their faces, hugs to all friends, wishing them luck next year in college. I thought to myself that I had 2 years left. That's a long time in Westboro football. By the time my junior year came around, I was so excited because I was returning junior. Not many players can say that. Being back, playing on the Chiz, is one of the best feelings in the world. Being surrounded by thousands of fans on a Friday night, and you're on Whitesboro. There's no other feeling that could compare to that. After that first game, my junior year, I knew this was in for a long, successful season. During the season, we'd face many ups and downs, like winning the first 2 games, scoring over 100 points in those games, and then going to the third game, getting beat by Indian River. After that game, we got our heads on straight, went back to work, bounced back with 7 straight wins, ending up back at the Dome. As returning sectional champs, we knew it was going to be hard. We're playing the team we played in the regular season. It gave us a run for our money during that game. We had to focus up. We did, and adjusted like that. And just like that, we had 2 section titles. You don't see a team repeating sectional championships every day. After winning a tough game against Maine Enwell, went back to the state semifinals against Rochester Aquinas. Unfortunately, we lost again at the same spot last year. Again on the field, in the locker room, seeing the tears and hugs. It was tough because I realized that I would be going through this next year. As the summer of my junior year was coming to an end, football was right around the corner. From doubles to players' meetings to films, I was ready for another year of Whitesboro football. By the time the first game of the year came around, it happened just so fast. I was excited. Who wouldn't be? Senior year at the Chiz for opening night. After the first play and to hear all the fans cheering, it gave me this feeling that I was glad to be back home. So the season started off great senior year, 1-0 beating Indian River. What could go wrong? Unfortunately, in the third game of the year, I suffered an ACL tear after getting a cheap shot from one of the Carthage players after I scored my 3rd touchdown of the game. I felt the pain in my knee before I even hit the ground. At first, I thought it was only a bruise, so I got a brace, played 2 more games on it. Then on senior night, I aggravated it during a running drill during pregame. I sat down for a minute, trying to think what just happened. I got up, took 1 step, and my leg gave out on me. From that point on, I knew this injury was worse than I expected. After the doctor confirmed it was ACL tear, I knew I was spending the rest of the year on the sidelines. Going to every game, not having a chance to play again, cheering for my teammates. I knew this was going to be different. From that point on during the season, I looked back at what I've gone through during my time as a Whitesboro Warrior. All the way back to modified with Coach Scott, Coach Reeder, Coach Coriel, how they signaled in the entire play instead of using the wristbands, how the names of the plays have changed. Back in JV with Coach Scranton, Coach Madge, and Coach McQueen, they taught you that you had to earn a spot to play for this team. non-varsity with Coach Shane, Coach Silvestri, Coach Nassif, Coach Schmidt, Coach Hertham, Coach Hathaway. They would make you give it your all, 110% what you have to win the Whitesboro way. With that being said, even though experiences were different through the years, we always kept the same goal in mind. You'll always be a Whitesboro Warrior.